Howdy, folks. We are back, and we're sorry to say we're here for a few minutes. So bear with us
Stay with us.
and stay with us. I think you've got us some kind of topic to deal with today.
Well, we talked about Charlie Kirk last week and if he was a martyr or not. And to us, we feel like he was, and I think most of the nation's saying they think he was.
Yep.
But did you asked me a little while ago if I watched any of the memorial service for it, and yeah, I did. I didn't watch it live, but I found it on YouTube and sped it up, watched it fast, and
Yeah.
skipped the stuff where nobody's speaking or anything. But anyway, and it was, I don't know how much of it you saw, but it was a whole lot of preaching went on in there. It wasn't all, and uh, most people give great reviews on it. But I heard some. One of the news stations said that it was like a rage festival.
Rage, R-A-G-E.
Rage like Rage Med,
Yeah,
you know,
angry.
angry like they were angry, wanting a revenge festival or something
Yeah.
like that. I can't remember how it was worded, but I thought,
You mean like something they'd have for George Floyd?
yeah, but
Never mind, I shouldn't have said that.
yeah, but I mean, and that's what they were insinuating, and I actually seen a thing last night. Piers Morgan Uncensored. Have you ever watched that?
I've watched. I know who Piers Morgan is, and I've listened to him some.
I'm not a great big fan of his, but sometimes his topic,
It's good.
and I'll have to say he seems pretty even on it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
he tries to
Yeah,
balance.
he
Tries to be balanced
tries to be, but his panel don't always
from a
because there's
political
different people.
standpoint.
But he had a gentleman on there, and I can't remember his name, but he asked him. He said, while this memorial's going on, why would you post these clips of him saying things that don't sound too good? You know, why would you be talking bad about this man on your page while that memorial's going on?
Piers asked the question.
He asked that man that,
Yeah.
and that guy just kept saying, "Well, you heard Trump, didn't you? Because Trump won't quit this stuff. I'm not going to quit it." And they keep trying to tell him. Anyway, where I'm at. I don't want to start on political stuff here.
Yeah, that's all
Where
right.
I'm at is though, I got to thinking about it. Even somebody that you don't agree with, somebody you don't like, and I'm sorry, we all got somebody we don't like, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're supposed to love them all, but and I've used this before. I've said that God says we have to love them. He don't say we have to like them,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I do think there is a
When you
difference.
start talking about loving your enemies, most of the time you don't really like them all
You
that
don't really
much.
like them, it wouldn't be enemy.
Yeah.
But anyway, but when you hear about someone's death, just to me, unexcusable murder. You know what I mean? But even if there's accidental death, whatever it is, why would you start slandering, or I don't know if you call it slander, or why would you start bad mouthing them during their memorial? And I know he didn't break in on their memorial to do it, but
You do it because of hate.
you do it because they have hate. But I'm thinking compassion.
Well,
You can't.
it's
People have no compassion anymore.
it's a lack of compassion
A lack of compassion.
and
Yes.
overabundance of hate.
Yes.
And
It's not. I'm going to say this again. It's not far left or far right. It's good and evil.
Yes.
Right. And there is bad on both ends. There are hate speeching people on the far right. There's hate speeching people on the far left, and it's just the way it is. Nobody wants to admit that, but it is.
Oh yeah.
And I do feel like, in my opinion, there's more on the left, but a lot of people think it's more on the right. So,
Yeah.
but
the I was telling you, I play a little ball with
it's lack of
an old
compassion.
fella like about my age, so you can tell we probably do more talking when you play. And he's on the opposite end of the spectrum from me.
Okay. On your political beliefs and things.
And we don't talk about it a lot. He wants to engage in it a lot sometimes, and I just figure there's no need in us not being friends.
Yeah.
But so we and he and I don't want to talk about him at all because he doesn't. He's far left leaning, but he also will say, it does appear like this is working, like the border crisis.
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing. But we were talking the other day, and he said, "Let's talk about this censorship that your man Trump's trying to do." And I said, and I was not in the mood to talk about it much. So
yeah.
Anyway,
that's what worries me out of all this. But go ahead.
What I was going to say is the fact is that I said, well, what about the censorship that was happening during the previous administrations that was putting pressure on the social media things, the YouTubes and the the Facebooks of the world,
Yeah.
and uh, and 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 he said, well, I didn't hear nothing about that. So that wasn't happening. So I'd heard about it if it's happening. Well, that's all I've heard about.
Well, that's the
So
thing.
so the media he's listening to is not mentioning those kind of things, are very limited. And the media I'm listening to
Is limiting what?
is limiting what I'm hearing too.
Yes.
And 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 this Facebook's gonna, I mean, excuse me, YouTube and or Facebook, but YouTube it will will monitor what people watch and listen,
Yes.
and they'll feed them what they like to hear.
Yeah.
Uh, so you don't hear the other side. And to be honest, when I hear the other side, I just turn it off sometimes.
Yeah, because you don't want to hear it.
Especially if I think it's too far to the other side.
Because you don't want to hear it.
Yeah,
Well, that's what the other side does you too.
that's happening on both sides.
Yeah. But anyway, to get beyond that, like I said, to get back to uh people, and I don't want to make this all about Charlie Kirk. I want to just make it about people in general.
But you can use this
You
whole
can use this
episode of the last
scenario.
week or so as an example.
When he was dead, a lot of people got on there and just like they were going to throw a party because he was dead. You know, ding dong, the witch is dead or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself
Yeah.
I thought, there's no compassion left in this world. Whether you like that man or not, he was a living, breathing human being with a family.
Yeah.
And he did have friends, whether you respected that or not. And to just like you're going to throw a party because somebody died, there is no compassion.
Go ahead.
We didn't use much Bible last week, and I wanted to use some this week.
Okay.
If you look in Mark chapter 10, there's a story about a man that went down from Jerusalem and fell among thieves, it says.
Yeah, I know the story.
Okay. It's in Mark chapter 10. It starts about hold on a minute, I'll tell you. Verse 30. And a certain man went down from Jerusalem, fell among thieves, and was laying there on the roadside, beat up. And it says a certain priest come by and passed by on the other side, wouldn't do nothing to help him. And then it says a certain Levite came by and looked at it and went on. And then it says a certain Samaritan.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason I think this fits today, the Samaritans, if y'all don't know, the Jewish people, this man come down from Jerusalem, he was a Jew, we figure, right? The Samaritans and the Jews, the Samaritans were half Jews, they said.
Yeah.
The Jewish culture would say they were half breeds. And Samaria,
they were mixed. They were mixed race. They're not technically race because there's only three real races, but they were a mixed bloodline.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the thoroughbred bloodline supposedly looked down on them. So you got to.
Yeah, probably from both sides, truth be known.
Probably.
Yeah.
But just like today with this, right?
Yeah.
With what we say is left and right. And I still say is good and evil is what we're talking about. And I'm not calling the left all evil. There's evil on both ends.
Yeah.
Right? But anyway,
the Samaritan come down.
The Samaritan come by. The Jewish people would travel like 7 miles around Samaria.
Yeah, so they
wouldn't have to go through the city.
Yeah.
Right. They disdained them so bad they wouldn't even walk through the city. So they'd travel like 7 miles around the city. And today they'd be like traveling 100 miles out of your way because most of the time they's walking.
Oh yeah, right? It'd be time consuming.
Very time consuming. Yeah. Okay. But this Samaritan comes by and he sees this Jewish man laying there. And it say, I'm gonna read what it says. If you ever make it to verse 35 in chapter 10, it says, "But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion on him." He cared about another human being, didn't care what ethnic group, what race, whether he's Democrat, Republican, didn't care what none of that. It's a human being. He had compassion on him. And then it says he went and doctored his wounds and put him up on his beast and took him to a hotel or an inn and cared for him. And when he had to leave, he gave the man money, right?
Said continue to care for him.
He said, care for him. And if it costs more than this, when I come back, I'll pay you.
Yeah.
He didn't care who that man was. He had compassion.
In that whole story, you don't see him asking any questions about any of that. He could.
What's your beliefs? What's this? What's that? He's a human being.
He probably could, and I don't really think there was probably a lot of appearance difference in a Samaritan versus an Israelite.
Probably
maybe more in dress, but not a whole lot in skin tone and size.
Maybe
because
not.
They were all Middle Easterners.
Yeah.
All technically the same race, different bloodlines of the same race.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But I bet he could tell I bet he knew he was a Jew.
Yeah.
Just from clothing and something like that. But you're right. It didn't matter what he was.
What I'm getting at is Go ahead.
What he was another human being.
Another human being. One thing I want to bring out in this, it says a certain priest, which you would think like a preacher. I'm getting buzzed by some kind of bug. A preacher, pastor, or something. What we think of, a man of God. He's passed by on the other side. It nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And then a Levite, which were Levite priests. They were supposed to,
Yeah, Levites were workers in the church.
Yeah. And he
in the Jewish church.
He looked and then left.
Yeah. They don't get involved.
No one get involved. Okay, these were the people that you would think would have compassion. And you wouldn't think that Samaritan would have compassion on a Jewish man laying there.
Yeah, they would have both been Jewish.
Yeah,
the priest and the Levite would have both been Jewish.
Mm-hmm. And this whole story was told by Jesus because somebody asked him who was his neighbor.
Yeah,
that you had to treat your neighbor, love thy neighbor as thyself. And he goes, "Who's my neighbor?" Yeah. And he said, "Okay, here, I'll give you an example."
And then he asked, "Who was this man's neighbor?"
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I want to read this too. Compassion. Well, how would you describe compassion?
Well, if you just knee jerk it, okay, I don't think this is correct, but this is a feeling of passion or a feeling of sorrow for another individual.
Well, that's pretty good. I mean, and that's what most people would say.
But it's not. It's going to be like love. It's not going to be a feeling in the end, because compassion would be showing compassion would also be showing love.
Mm-hmm.
So you said a few minutes ago, there's people you don't like, you're bound to love. You have to love.
Yeah. But just because I don't like them, don't mean I'm going to do something against them. And if I see them in trouble, if I see them hurt, I'm going to try to help them.
But you would love them because you would do things for them. You technically really can love someone that you don't like.
Yeah.
And you can love someone
who don't like you,
who's despitefully using you. The Bible says, do it. It's a commandment. It didn't say if you feel like it or whatever. So to me, to show compassion is to show love.
Okay.
Because it's an act of the will. Love is an act of your will.
I'm going to read you. This is the dictionary you like, 1823, 28, whatever it was. Yeah. Compassion, sympathetic pity, and concern for the suffering or misfortune of others. And then it had two under that. Sometimes I have two.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Second definition.
Yeah, second definition. A profound active feeling of concern for the suffering of others, coupled with a strong desire and motivation to alleviate that suffering. Not to add to it, to alleviate it, to reduce that suffering on that person. That's having compassion on them. You don't just recognize they're in a bad spot or having a bad time or this has happened, that's happened. You do something to try to relieve that, to ease that pressure. It's an act of kindness.
It's a verb.
Yeah, it's an act of kindness, an act of help. And this world has gotten, and it's not just in the political world, it's the world that we go to work in every day or that we go to town in every day. People have no compassion anymore. Why is there so much road rage? Right? I mean, they have no compassion anymore. Oh, yeah. They're mad. I want that spot. I'll pull out in front of you and I'll run and pass you real quick, stamp the brakes on and turn off. And that triggers most people. They have no compassion either.
Yeah.
And all of us have points where we're mad, and we don't have much compassion at that point. But God tells us to be compassionate. 41 times actually in the Bible. I looked at it too.
Yeah. So why are we less compassionate than are we less compassionate first? Let me ask that question. Are we less compassionate than we once were as a society?
I think we are. Not everybody, but I think we are. I remember her mama, the house she grew up in, that road used to be the main drag through where they lived.
Yeah.
Right? She said during the Depression that there would be families walking that road, and they would bring them in and feed them and let them spend the night.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing that today?
They were the
Good Samaritans.
They were the good Samaritans, but they were
fortunate enough that they hadn't lost their home and they had food and
had gardens and stuff.
They had a big old farm there, and they grow their own food and raised cattle. And
they were one of the fortunate families.
Yes. Or maybe they was so broke when it happened they didn't know no different.
Maybe.
I've heard people say that when the Depression hit. We so broke I didn't know anything changed.
Yeah, in the real world, if you just lived off the land, it didn't bother you as much.
Yeah. But they showed compassion. These were people they never knew.
Yeah.
Never seen again, probably.
And
But
I
they
think,
weren't telling what's done it. Now they
well,
was, you know what I mean. It ain't like they were the shining
I've
lights.
read where people arguing that crime, poverty. That's a hard word for me to say, Vic.
Poverty.
Yes, that word
I've lived
is
it a long
caused
time.
by
I know.
it causes crime.
I don't believe that.
But well, statistically, crime rate was one of the
Lower
lowest rates in history during
during
the
the
Great
Depression
Depression when everybody was poor, in
because there was
poverty.
compassion showed.
And
People knew everybody was suffering,
yeah, yeah, and I guess that's where, I,
and there were probably more acts of kindness, right?
Jesus walked out there and said, "O Jerusalem, how I would gather you as chicks," because he looked at it and he was sorrowful about the condition of the people.
Yeah.
That he was he was sorrowful about the condition of the nation, but he was more sorrowful about the condition of the people. And I really think that is that lacking in our churches.
I'm going to say yeah. I think I I hate playing the blame game, but I'm going to blame churches for a lot of problems we have this day and time because it's not being taught what God says.
Yep.
I I am shocked. There's some people in my church that are in their 70s. There's some people in there that are in their 80s, and two or three different things that we've studied and preached on. They've come to me and go, I have never heard that before,
Yeah, it
and
makes you
I'm
wonder,
going,
don't
you never heard that?
it? Yeah.
Okay, one of them, he's 84 years old, I believe. He's been going to a church for like 30 years, and he started coming there a while back. He didn't have a falling out with his old church. He came there for some reason. His son-in-law was there, and his son-in-law just lost his wife, which was his daughter,
Okay.
and he was coming
So anyway, he
to
started
comfort
attending.
him.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he told me later, he said, I came and man, I heard things I'd never heard before.
Yeah.
He said, I came for my son-in-law, but now I'm coming because for me.
Yeah.
And he's
And,
quite often now, every
and
few
some of
weeks he'll
that.
go, I've never heard this. I was in that church. I've been in church my whole life, but I was in that church for 30 years and they have never taught that there.
Well,
And
I've mentioned this before. Sometimes we get hung up on preaching and teaching in churches on the topic of the day. Uh, and
you use God's word, it'll be the topic of the day. It'll
yeah,
fit.
but you never get to expository teaching, or we're just going to go through boom, 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 and see what the word says. And so what happens is you learn a lot about certain subjects, but you miss a whole lot of the in between
And sometimes the things you learn about that subject is wrong because you don't use it
because you haven't
with
got
the
the in
other.
between.
Yeah, you haven't got the in
supporting
between.
documents. He's sort of like when me and my buddy was talking about difference in politics, and he's saying that's not so because I've
Exactly.
never heard that. And I'm going,
Exactly.
well, I've never just to make myself feel good. I had heard what he's saying
Yeah.
from the other end, but but I hadn't listened to what he was saying from the other. I'd heard it, but I haven't gone back and said, okay, what supports all that makes him think that way.
Would you
But
be showing compassion if you went back and go, you know what? I see what you're saying, but let's look at this.
oh yeah,
The same thing Charlie Kirk was trying to do, not to bring him up again, but I just did.
that's what he was. That's what.
And he was sharp enough to know both sides.
Yeah, he was trying to reach the world for Christ.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is just an opinion. I mean, he's never called me up, told me that's what he was doing. But I think, as we said last week, the last several years of his life, that was a bigger mission for him.
Yes.
And he believed
Spreading the
he
gospel.
believed it would heal our nation. If my people who are called by my name, right,
Will turn from their wicked ways.
humble themselves, pray, and seek my face, that I'll hear them and I'll heal their land. And so
He didn't just, he knew that.
so from a church
Saying you believe it and knowing it's true.
I realize we're covering a gamut of things.
Oh,
here.
but that's all right.
But from the
That's the way we
church's
are, people.
from the church's standpoint, we go back to again uh, the Christian nationalist thing. If you really love your country, you should love Christ first.
Yes.
Okay, that's the proper order.
Before everything.
But some people love their nation before they do Christ. I would think that probably more people love their nation
first.
than they do Christ first, right?
More people love a whole lot of different things before Christ.
Well, I was going to say, you're exactly right. I like lemonade better than,
Well, let me ask you this, and it will tie into this. What was the first relationship God ever put in place?
well, the husband and wife. Let me think for a minute. Okay, what was it?
The relationship between him and man,
Yeah, well, yeah,
right?
relationship between him
And
and
so
man.
many people go, it's family first, family first, family first. That sounds real good, and I agree to a point. But it's God first, and your family will be so close to second,
Well, that's how it comes
right?
out in the Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
But
right.
he
He had a
I don't
relationship
know
with
how
Adam and
long
Eve.
Adam was there before he created Eve. Long enough to name all the animals,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Long enough for God to go, he needs to help me. He needs
yeah,
a partner, somebody
yeah,
like him to go through life with him.
yeah.
So then he created Eve. That's when he established family. And I've had preachers tell me I'm wrong. That no, the family's the first thing. I'm going,
No,
no.
well,
He created that relationship between God and man
just the
first.
fact that he was walking in the garden with, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
agree. He brought all those critters to him. So
yeah.
between him and Adam, uh,
So that should be put in front of everything.
yeah. So can you? Because I believe this about love. Just because again, I equate love and compassion pretty close.
They're pretty close.
Uh, can you? How was I going to say that? Can you have compassion and yet not really have the feelings that go with it? Does that make sense?
Not really care about somebody, but have
Yeah, I
compassion
might
on them.
have to go back and read the definition, but
Yeah.
I believe you can love somebody and not have any feelings
You
involved in it. There
yes.
are things that we should
But you can
do.
have compassion on people and not care for them.
You can have feelings for them. And again, I don't want to because I don't want to have to go back and read those definitions again. But with love, you're commanded to love, and you're commanded to you're told to love those who hate you and despitefully use you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you're probably not liking that person too much if they're despitefully using you.
Yeah.
Uh, the difference. Should I bring that up? The difference. The difference was seen in that memorial service.
Yes.
Mrs. Kirk said, "I forgive it. I'm gonna
She
do
showed love to
just
that
what
man
Jesus did when he was on the cross
and
and
compassion to
said,
that man.
Father, forgive them." She had compassion. She had compassion for the because she had compassion for that man, and she says, "I'm going to forgive you because I'm supposed to." She didn't say these words, I don't think, because I'm supposed to love everybody. One
Mm-hmm.
thing, and that's the right thing to do, and that's what God would have me to do.
Yeah.
But Mr. Trump, and I don't mean this to be real critical of it, because I want to say this, and I think we talked about it before. One of the things that Charlie Kirk said about Donald Trump is that he's a truth teller.
I know where
He
you're
may
going.
not be
Yeah.
a Christian,
Yeah.
but he's a truth teller.
Yes.
And so he comes on there and he says, "That's
I ain't like her.
amazing," or something. I won't get this quote right, but
I just don't like her,
he
he
was
said.
trying. Yeah, he said, I'm not like that because I hate my enemies. I wanna crush them." You have to give him this. He told the truth.
Yeah.
He told the truth, but that is man.
That is man.
That is man without Christ.
And
Because
the problem with him saying that is it gives all the people, I'm gonna say on the other side, I think we're just got one side. We ought to be trying to boost everybody
yeah,
up. But as they say on the other side's going, see, there's why we hate him. Well, he's
yeah.
not gonna wipe everybody out.
No, and that's
He
how.
won't say,
But that's how most of the world is. Most
yeah.
of the world. What made her speech so extraordinary to a whole lot of people? Because I've heard that story before from other Christians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I won't get this story right, but I've heard preachers tell stories about somebody's child getting killed by a drunk driver, and them watching it happen. You know, and they run
Mm-hmm.
out there and picking up their dying child and said, "You can hear them praying, God help me forgive this person,"
Mm-hmm.
right then, because they know it's not going to be easy to do.
Oh yeah, it
Uh,
wouldn't be
but
easy.
but that's Christ would ask us to have compassion on those people that, and maybe compassion. We'll go back and read the definition sometime. Compassion might include. I'm just going technically on a word now. Might include a feeling of deep sorrow, because I think you can look out over the masses. People need the Lord. Remember the song?
A profound active feeling
A
of
profound active feeling
concern.
of concern. So
for the suffering of others.
And some people would say love is a feeling. Some people would say that, but I don't think
There's
think
a feeling to it, but
biblically.
it's
Well, there's different.
different
Obviously,
types of love.
different 7, 6, 5, 3, 4
Yeah.
different ones for love in the Bible. But agape love is not talking about feeling. Okay, you do those things to somebody that you don't feel for. But we need to learn to have. If you can't look at our society and see, remember the song that Mac Davis wrote that Elvis made more popular than Mac Davis did, In the Ghetto.
Yeah.
And if you watch some reaction videos of them people, they go, good gosh, they'll say,
And
this song came out in the early 70s and we're still talking about the same issue. And
they're talking about it in the 50s and the 40s and the 30s.
You can see it, and you got to have compassion on people that's born into problem areas in a problem situation. And sometimes us right wingers get accused of, and rightfully so sometimes, that we'll holler, they just need to get out of it, quit doing those things. Well, that's easy to say for somebody that wasn't brought up in that.
Basically trapped there.
Trapped, at least.
Because where do they go?
And while we say, and I've heard some of the Turning Point people, I listened to one of the black Turning Point speakers speaking to a black young man who was saying, we can't get out. You can't, and that guy's saying, well, yeah, you can. And while I agree with him, yes, you can. And this young man that was talking to him, he says, you're going to college here. He says, what's your grade point? 3.6. He said, you can do anything you want to do, son. Don't sit here and tell me you can't get out. So that's true. But it's true on the other end too.
It's true on the other end. And it's not just
this is how blinded that young man was, is that he is on his way out and don't know it. And if he plays that victim card on and on, he's got a good mind. He's going to college. He's got a high grade point average. He can get a job and make good money and economically and be successful from the world's point of view. That young man can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But for him, there's others. There's another one. For every one of them, there may be 2 or 3. I don't know. But there's other people that are born into situations that, whether the way was out and they just didn't see it, they never get whatever. And we need to have compassion on those situations.
Yes, it's instilled in them that they're in a lose-lose situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Right.
That's instilled in people.
It's the world's out to get them. They can't get a break. Can't get a break. And when a break comes, they don't recognize it because they're too busy saying, I can't get a break.
And one of the things that Turning Point's doing is saying, you got a break, but at the same time, our churches should be doing that too.
Our churches should be doing that.
Should be looking at the world with compassion and saying, how can we help them understand? You said something in their thing last week about since you were saved, you're have a much better life, even though you got less money and you got less health.
Mm-hmm.
That's the real compassion that we need to be spreading. Is that it in all life circumstances, and we live under the curse.
Yes, we do.
In all life circumstances, you can have a better life. And you need to feel for the people that haven't been fortunate enough to find Christ yet, even though he be not far from them.
Before we get too far long-winded, the last place compassion is mentioned in the Bible.
Okay.
Jude. I'm not going to say 1 or 2 because it's not. It's just Jude,
verse 22.
Verse 22. And of some have compassion, making a difference. And it's talking about Christians. And it's talking about Christians talking to others, trying to win them to Jesus. But some have compassion, making a difference.
Yes.
It makes a difference. Compassion makes a difference. If you just go in, if I'm trying to lead you to Christ and I'll just go, you're doing wrong, you better quit that. You're either going to die and go to hell if you don't quit that, and blah, 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 blah. Then pretty soon you're just going to throw a shield up and go, I'm tired of hearing this guy. But if I come in with compassion and go, you know what? We've all done it.
Yeah, we've all done
it. Or and you can do that with the
trying to understand.
I go back to road rage.
Yeah.
Tell me you've drove over 5 years and never pulled out in front of somebody.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If you have, you've never driven in a city anywhere.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm serious. You might out on a country road rate for 3 cars a day.
I get blowed at a lot when I'm in cities because I'm waiting till I can't see another car anywhere. And then people behind me's going, just pull out.
And it'll be way too close. I did it just the other day and freaked me out.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I didn't see that car a bit more than that. The only thing I think, old truck's got big mirrors on it. It must have been hid behind that mirror coming at me.
Yeah.
And I eased up and stopped and looked the other way and looked and pulled out and boom, there was a car.
Yeah.
And fortunately, they must have had enough sense to go, this fool's going to roll out in front of me.
Yeah.
But they didn't blow the horn at me and carry on. It's one of them, I'm sorry.
They had compassion.
So it happens, right?
Yeah.
It happens. So at some point, you was that guy that made somebody mad. You can go,
Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah. And even,
so why be mad at somebody else that made the same mistake maybe you made?
Yeah. And even more than that, though, I think you look out the masses of the world, and we've got, Carmen had a song out years and years ago.
Yeah.
I won't remember the title. I'll try to remember, stick another note on it. That he's talking about the people in Hollywood trapped in lust for fame.
Mm-hmm.
And the homosexual in San Francisco, searching for love.
Uh-huh.
And he was a song about looking at it differently.
Yeah.
And I say that he was telling them that all these things they search for can be found in Christ. But we just get trapped in so many different lifestyles, so many different economic situations, family situations, that the church needs to have compassion on those people enough that they're willing to somehow push forward to try to take the message. And we'll just memorialize Charlie Kirk a little bit more. The whole Turning Point USA thing is in the real world, and I'm saying this from an opinion. I don't know if we can see their charter, what it would say.
Yeah.
You think about the turning point. That's the moment you turn, you repent,
yes.
and you turn back to Christ. And it's not just that I'm going to quit doing all these bad things, start doing all these good things. Real repentance is when in your mind you realize I am going the wrong way. That's the repentance. I need to stop looking to the world for happiness, for wealth, for name it all, and start looking
for
Christ,
love in all the wrong places.
The giver of all life.
Yeah.
We ran over our time limit.
Got
anything
maybe
else?
nobody shoot us for. Just show compassion, people. If you claim to be a Christian, show compassion. It's awful easy.
Yeah.
Right? Awful easy not to.
Yeah. Look at the world. It's a lost and dying world, and when you look at big masses and crowds, understand that the majority of every large crowd you see, that might be overstated, are probably going to hell.
Brother Eddie used to be my preacher. Somebody was there one day and said, why do them people act that way? He said, they're doing what they're supposed to do.
That's the world.
They're sinners.
That's what we do, yeah.
And it's awful easy for a Christian to look at someone who we think don't know Christ and go, dummies, what are they doing that for?
Yeah.
They're doing what they're supposed to do. Same thing me and you did before you were saved.
Yeah.
Same thing I did before I was saved. We were sinning. Still sinning. Right?
Yeah.
Not like I did, but we all still sin.
That's what
God showed compassion so much that he said in his word, he is not willing that any should perish, but all will come to be saved. That's misquoted.
Everybody's heard the story of the scorpion and the frog, right?
Yeah.
And why do you sting me? Like a scorpion.
That's what I do.
Come back to see us, folks. Pray for your neighbor. Have compassion on somebody this week. Give us a like. Give us a thumbs up.
Tell us if this is any good. Or
leave us some comments. Tell us what you want to hear us chew the fat.
There you go.